So this is one of my all-time favorite movies. This is Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin, and a few others, but those are the main two in this. And basically, uh, Alec Baldwin is a photographer, and he's there to photograph this hot chick who's married to this old guy who is Anthony Hopkins. And they fly up to Alaska on some remote cabin to take pictures of her with fur on her or some bullshit. And there's a bunch of creepy stuff said about bears and a bunch of stories about bears. And basically, this is a horror movie where the monster is a bear. It's terrifying. Uh, One of my favorite things in this movie is at the start, there's a thing with a paddle with a jaguar on one side and a rabbit smoking a pipe on the other side. I like the motif of a rabbit smoking a pipe. If I were to have a symbol, it's a rabbit smoking a pipe. And I get that from this movie and a combination of my friend and mentor who's dead now, Matt Freeman, was really into rabbits and he smoked a lot. So when I see a rabbit smoking a pipe, I think him. And then I have always loved this movie so much. And when I watched this for the first time after he had passed, I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. Anyway, uh, there's a knife in this movie. It's like a bone handled lock blade hunter something. It's cool. I saw this movie in 1997 when it came out, and I fell in love with the knife. I was 7 years old, and I was like in love with the knife in this movie. I just wanted one. Um, that's kind of how I've always been with knives. Like I thought they were fucking cool. And the best part about this movie to me is that like he gets a book that's all about wilderness survival. Anthony Hopkins, that is, and he's a smart guy and he's using his mind to survive in the woods. And I always thought that was a really cool fucking concept. And this movie, more than almost anything else, is probably responsible for this channel. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit in between this movie and here. But the thing that first made me go, oh shit, yeah, this stuff's important. I should know this shit was The Edge in 1997. There was other shit probably too, but this is the one that sticks in my mind the most. I'm gonna have to do a bunch of videos on like survival TV and stuff. I've been watching a lot of Les Stroud lately because it's free on YouTube. If you don't know, Les Stroud has a YouTube channel now, and all of his shit is free on there, even stuff that he never put on TV. Sorry, I need a drink. I've been doing a lot of videos today. And the thing that made me go, woo, I have to watch, Survivor Man, was watching The Edge. And in this movie, they go to find someone at another cabin or something, and he's not there, and he says he's at another cabin hunting. So they go flying off into the the Alaskan North in a fucking old biplane or some shit with pontoons on it, and they get bird struck halfway to this other cabin. Plane crashes. Uh, Lots of shit happens, but there's three of them left alive after the plane crash, and one of them is uh, the first one to die, and he happens to be black, of course, because this is like a horror movie, right? And I forget that guy's name. He's a good actor. He's been in several things. When you watch this movie, you'll recognize him, but he's not in the movie that much, so it really doesn't matter. I don't think I'm spoiling much to say that this is a movie where the bear is the central like antagonist, right? So someone's got to get eaten by a bear. You do the math. um, the rest of the movie is kind of them hiking out and running away from the bear and fighting the bear and finding shit, and they do little survival tricks and shit along the way, and it inspired a lot of what I do now. Really, like I read a bunch of survival manuals and went and did a bunch of bushcrafty shit as a kid because of this movie and Survivor Man and a few other things. Sorry, my friend is texting me. Uh, these movies are quintessential to who I am now. At least they inspired me at a very young age. And especially if you have young children, I would encourage you maybe not to watch this movie because someone gets eaten by a fucking bear and my parents are savages. But there are other movies like, oh no, that someone gets eaten by a bear in that one too. There are other movies that your kids could watch. Oh, I don't know. I like how I turned out after watching fucked up movies as a kid, so that's a whole debate. Other stuff in the Edge. Oh, there's a cool shotgun in the plane that they don't grab because they're not going to need it or whatever. Like he's like drowning in the water, I guess, and doesn't have time to get the shotgun. But like, if I was in a sinking plane in Alaska, I would have dealt with a lungful of water and had the shotgun. It's kind of a big deal. I really don't like bears. Um, that's not everybody though. Like I've had a lungful of water before, and you can recover from it, especially if you know what you're doing and don't black out. If you black out in the water, it's kind of all over. That's where it gets dangerous, right? Like it's not about getting a lungful of water, and it's not about you know can you swim. It's about can you swim when you're fucking unconscious. And for whatever reason, I can hold my breath for a really long time, even with a lung full of water or whatever. It doesn't matter. It takes quite a while for me to pass out. One of those like super skills or whatever. I think I get that from my grandfather. He was drown proof too. Like my grandfather could hold his breath for like 10 to 15 minutes at a go. He'd go and walk on the bottom of 20-foot pools and just stay down there and wave at people and freak them out. Man was a fish. Anyway, he is the reason I saw The Edge at 7 years old in theaters, though, is because this is like a Alaska mountain man kind of movie, and I think we saw this for like Father's Day or some shit. I don't remember. I'll have to look and see when this came out, but it's a great movie. He fishes with like a gold piece of watch in this movie, and I'm curious to see if that is something that you could actually do. I bet you could because like spoons work. I would like to try to catch fish on a gold chain now after seeing this. That might be a myth busting thing at some point when I have access to some place to fish and do videos. Uh, let's see what else. Um, it's kind of hilarious that he's married to Hottie McHot Pants in this movie, and everyone is like making fun of him. Basically, it was like, I wonder why she married you. The joke's on them because it doesn't matter why Hottie McHot Pants married him. She married him, you know. See what else. Oh, that might be a spoiler. I'm trying not to spoil the movie and talk about the end and a bunch of other shit. Uh, the scenes of Alaska in this movie, let's talk about that. They're beautiful. I don't know where exactly they shot this, but it's on like some lake. To me, it looks like in Canada. Like it really looks more like Canada than Alaska to me, but maybe I'm wrong. There's some of those big lakes up on in the Canadian Northland is where it looks like this was shot to me. Um, but that's a pretty good sub for Alaska. Um, go watch this movie. I really thoroughly enjoy it. The plane footage of their crash and shit is pretty cool too. For the time, is '90s again, but they get bird struck and crash into a lake and shit. And there's a whole sequence where you get to see Anthony Hopkins saving the day underwater. Go check out The Edge. Highly recommended.